Okay, so like I was saying, like everyone, welcome. This is our session about Supercharge your app service to the global scale. I always like to do like another slide, which is basically with a picture here of the window that basically from my hometown, which is Lisbon, Portugal, that you will be amazed how similar some parts are with Rome. It's incredible. Two cities far away, but they have similarities. But well, so my name is Tiago, like I was saying, and we're going to get started. But first, we have to thank our sponsors, because without the sponsors, this kind of events they couldn't happen. So all the sponsors that there are just too many for me to individual say every single one of them. But yeah, thank you very much to all of them. So before I even start, I just like to, just to like here, like a small kind of a small teaser with you guys that if for you guys coffee in the morning, okay, it just doesn't work for you anymore, okay, so you can't wake up anymore with this, just try to do this. Try to delete a production resource group, because to be totally honest with you, if this one here doesn't work, I really don't know what it does. And yes, this is kind of stolen from an internet mem, and I kind of adapt to this. And this already happened to one of my customers. Then he calls me at really early in the morning, and believe me that it really wakes you up. So doing a short presentation about myself, my name is Tiago. I work as a cloud architect and advisor, and I'm an MVP for Microsoft Azure. I'm also a trainer, and basically what I do is I do consulting. I help companies move workloads to the cloud, building cloud native workloads, governance, cost management, all that. And I also train people, so I help people to get certified on Azure, and I'm the author of certain courses, and I speak in events like this, and you have all my contacts in here. So if you want to reach out, just please do. That's my Twitter handler in the end, so you want to follow me, that will be great so that we can stay in touch. So what is the agenda? So we're going just to talk about what is the status of Azure today. Then this session is based on a real request that I got from a customer that, of course, I had to oversimplify it or fit in 40 minutes. This was not a 40 minutes project, as you guys can imagine, but I kind of simplified. But then in the end, basically I talk about what was the business request, and then I touch in 3 of the services that we use there, and then we are going to talk about, well, basically other services that we also used in this project. So what is Azure today? Second largest cloud provider. We have a bunch of regions, a bunch of fiber, and I'm not going to touch on the numbers because this is also a little bit of marketing. But what I want you to understand with this is that a lot of regions, yes, and there is one important thing. We're talking about how to supercharge global solutions, how to scale to the global. And the thing is, we need those regions to be spread all over the world, because we are going to have customers from all over the world. So if we don't choose a cloud provider that has such a strong distribution, well, we probably can't build a state-of-the-art solution. And this is why those numbers are, important. And also especially the edge sites, because we're also going to make use of those. And then look, yes, you can also have private network for this, which is that part for us today. It's not very, very important. But so it's important to understand what is the concept of a region. And a region is not just one data center. It can be more than one data center, but we are absolutely sure about one thing, is that all those data centers that compose a region, they are going to be, okay, in a single country. And we have 68 regions, which corresponds to hundreds of data centers. And then when we start to look for, oh, let's distribute this to the global scale, etc., when we architect our solutions, we're like, oh, let's use this very cool, fancy new service that just showed up right now. Oh, this will be a perfect match for this. It's probably not a good idea. And you know why? Because probably that service, it's not available yet in all the regions that you're going to need to use to do that global distribution. Okay, so this is why I show this, and this is why this is important. Okay, and this is just basically a map, and you can see bullets like literally almost everywhere. Yeah, there are like some white spaces in Africa, Russia, but they are also there because or there's no demand yet enough to guarantee the need for a data center for a region there. And then also other countries is because of political reasons and probably legal reasons and things like that, that they're still not there. If we zoom this, and you can see here, and why I have Spain here like this. I think I wanted to put this in Italy. I think I messed up the part here, but we also have Italy. Okay, so here we can zoom here. So I wanted to show you here that soon enough we're going to have Italy. Okay, that is still dotted, which means that it's still not available. But as you can see, there's like loads and loads of regions. Okay, now in Europe, and that's good because we can also have sometimes legal reasons why we need a certain region, etc. So that's important. Now let's switch here to cloud models. So we had on-prem, that's great, but just kind of the past already, and we have cloud computing. In cloud computing, we have three big models. Software as a service is stuff like Office 365. On the other hand, we have infrastructure as a service, which is like virtual machines. Great models. But I want to talk about today in platform as a service. So all the services and all this project was done with one guaranteed, is that we don't want infrastructure as a service. We want to not use that. That's our goal. Don't know if we can make it or not, but let's try to design this and not use that, because I don't want to be worried, okay, about operating systems, middlewares, or runtimes, and update that and take care of the security of that part and all of that at this scale. That will be a huge amount of work. We don't have the capacity to do that work properly. So absolutely sure, today everything will be perfect. Tomorrow it will not, because we don't have the capacity. There's going to be people that they are not going to be there's like machines that are not going to be updated. When there is a new version of, like, imagine a database server. Oh, now SQL Server, for example. Now it's SQL Server 2024. Like, we're never going to install that because that's a lot of work, and we already know the customer, and they'll take ages to migrate and things like that, and they will lose the momentum. So we really don't want that. So this is why I want to keep this in platform as a service, so that they keep all the good stuff right away to that. Is it a risk too? Sure, it is. Okay, but it's a calculated risk. So what was the challenge? Customer came to us and just told me, like, hey, Tiago, we have a web application, which is a front end, and we have a back end of that application, which is basically a bunch of REST services. And those two layers, we currently host this in here in our data center. And then we have some databases too, etc. Blah, blah, blah. But the problem is that we have customers globally, because we are a European-only company. And yeah, we were pretty good in Europe. And then we started to scale to the United States and to the Asian region. And we explode in the US and in Asia at the same time. And right, their product requires it to have a mobile app, okay? And that mobile app needs to communicate with their REST services, were in the Netherlands. So all the world coming to the Netherlands. And as you can imagine, Tiago, latency issues, etc. So we are not providing a proper service to people that are outside Europe. If you're in Europe, service is great, works perfectly fine. It could be better, but it's okay. If you are outside, it takes a little bit more time and things like that. So we want fast response times across all the regions on the globe, and we want a solution that can be scalable, because if we have more demand, hey, we want to have more, and we don't need what we have today, which is we have around 500 servers for this, and usually we only need like 200. So we have like 300 over capacity of servers that most of the time they are not doing anything. And we want to have something that doesn't have any maintenance at all. I was like, let's put low maintenance, okay? Because there's always something that we have to do. So let's put low maintenance. And that this was kind of the starting point. Those are the requests. So we thought about it, and I was like let's see what you guys have. It's clearly something that, look, I can do with Azure App Services, okay? And yeah, Azure App Services is what? Is a scalable platform that I can use to host web applications and REST services. And then it's not just for Microsoft languages and platforms. You can host, yeah, .NET Core, even supports .NET 6 already. But it also supports Python, PHP, Node.js, Java, you name it. And then, yeah, in the back, this is a virtual machine somewhere. Where is that virtual machine? Well, that virtual machine can be Windows or Linux. And so one or the other. And when we see this, it's like, oh, yeah, we need to do administration on this. Oh, very little, okay? So even if you are, a Microsoft shop where you only use Windows Server and, oh no, we don't use Linux, just because, look, we don't have the capacity, the human resources to manage Linux, but look, it's something that we need to consider for sure. So, but if that is the reason, sure. But look, you can always, literally, but like always, use Linux in here, because it's going to be very, very little to none administration what you have to do there. And it is cheaper, of course, if you use a language that supports that. If it's .NET, the old .NET, you have to go for Windows. You cannot run there. And then even some of the other languages, okay, they might even run better in Linux that they run on Windows. And look, it's what it is. And you look at this and just choose what's better for you, because they are both supported at the same level. And then we all need to do like DevOps processes and things. This is something that I'm not going to cover today, but it was very easy to train their staff and to put them to work with VS Code, and work with that, and work with Git, Azure DevOps on the other end, and everyone was super surprised how easy all of that was. But hey, if they were working with Visual Studio, yeah, work with Visual Studio, or with Eclipse or GitHub, for example, that will also be possible. And then look, yeah, we need to have a custom domain on this, because that was one of the arguments of the customer, like, oh, they told us that app services, you only need to have Azure websites.net and you can't have custom domains in that. We don't want that. I was like, of course we can have custom domains, okay, sure. Yeah, not in all the tiers, but the tier that I'm thinking about you guys use, it's not the free one for sure, so you're going to have custom domains. This here are what I call the UpSelling Points for app services. Global data center footprint. So we have app services, okay, distributed all across the world. And so, yeah, we can have that for sure. We have hybrid support, Azure AD integration, security and compliance. Okay, so all of that built into the service, and that's important for loads of customers. Okay, we have auto scaling including in this, high availability including in the service with auto patching. We have backups. Okay, we can do staging and deployment using a feature called deployment slots. Today I don't have the time to show you that, but if I have, I'm not going to have, but if I have, I will do a demo on that. It's pretty cool. Okay, and look, I can test in production. I have an app gallery marketplace. So for example, I organize the Azure, basically the global Azure on Lisbon, and every year I just spin up an app service with WordPress and already have a template. I just load the template, and we have a full-fledged website just in like 5 minutes. Okay, and I build the site in 5 minutes every year. It's like, whoa, boom, done. It is pretty cool. So I lighted here like stuff like data center coverage, auto-scaling deployment slots, custom domains with SSLTLS, Azure Functions to run like background tasks and things like that. That's also important. And then integration with other services. And this is what I love, is this, in Azure, you can always integrate stuff with other, and yeah, there's stuff that is missing still, but Microsoft is working on that. And that's like freaking amazing. I can easily integrate Traffic Manager or Front Door with this. Today, I will just show you Traffic Manager because it's just faster and just focus on what I want to show. But yeah, probably Front Door will be a better option nowadays, okay? So how do we start? We need an app service plan. This is what you pay, okay? And an app service plan is something that you create and you say, I have this tier and I have this amount, okay, of instances, and now you can run, okay, apps. And you have to put apps inside your app service plan. And then look, do you pay per app? No, you pay per instance on your app service plan, and there are certain tiers, okay? Today, I'm going to show you I'm going to use the premium V2. That's the one that I'm going to show you. But yeah, we have others. I'm not going to enter like in details on this today. We just don't have the time. But basically, we have kind of 3 big categories on the tiers. We have the free and the shared, which I to be honest, I don't recommend you to run production workloads with those. It's nice to, especially the free, just build something, okay? And just, woo, it's working, awesome. But to put something there, no, because you only have 60 compute minutes a day. So what happens if I spend all of that? Well, the next request that you get, you just get an HTTP error. So that's it, which, let's be honest, for a business application, I really don't want. Even for a personal one, what kind of image am I providing, right, with that? So it's nice, like I said, train, test something out. That's it. That's awesome. Okay. You can also go for the shared, which has the same problem, but it's 240 compute minutes a day, which is much better. Then I have the basic, standard, premium V2, V3. That, yes, those are more for production, even starting in the standard. Okay. So the standard probably is because this is the standard where you have traffic manager, deployment slots, backups. In the basic, we do not have that. So for sure, yeah, standard. And then we have another one, which is the A's, which is to run this in an isolated mode. Not only, but mainly that is the reason. Okay, so without further delays, let's just go in here and let's do a demo. I'm already in the Azure portal, and what I want to do right now, okay, is I want to build an app service. So I'll just say here, a web app, and now this doesn't show up anymore on the list. We need to search, and then we go to the marketplace and we select this. And now here I have like, oh, AZ controls the training. Look, I could just select one of my existing resource groups. This is my subscriptions, okay? But I'll just create something like Azure Day, okay, Rome, okay? There you go. I'll just create this one here. And now I need to basically provide here a name. So I'll just say AZ Contoso. That's kind of my demo company. And I'll just put there like this, like to be Europe. And now look, I'll just say, hey, it's a .NET Core 3.1, and I'm deploying this in West Europe. on the window app service plan here, I'm just going to say, hey, let's create a new one. I'll just say AZ Contoso App Service Plan Europe. Okay, and I'm changing the size and the tier because I want this P1 V2. Okay, just because I want to show you that we had that. Deployment, look, I don't want to do any continuous deployment. It's not the focus. The same thing for monitoring. Again, clearly not the focus today. I'm talking about monitoring, but yeah, that's application insights, by the way, and that's like super awesome. I love application insights. I'm like a mega huge fan of application insights, but just yeah, it's just not the time today. And I'm creating this. So if we see this, basically what we have done. Okay, this is the slide saying that we're going to do a demo. So what we have done is kind of this in here, right? So just forget this for now. And I'm like, yeah, sure, I have my app service plan here, but look, Tiago, I will have the same problem, is that everyone needs to go to West Europe. It's just don't want that, right? I want to have two, like I had here, right? So I want to have those two, and then having people just going there or going there, but I don't want to have two URLs, one for the people in the US, another one for Europe, and I still needed a third one for Asia, but let's just focus on Europe, US for now. I really don't want this. I want it to have what, like something in here where people can then, you know, connect to that. So I don't want this here. Let's just delete this, all this. So I want something like, yeah, there you go. People will go, and then this will make the decision to go there or there. It's not a load balancer, but, you know, kind of, right? But at the global scale. So, like, sure, okay, we're going to take care of that. But for now, let's just see this. So go to resource, you see it's here. If I click browse, this is the landing page that I have for that. And this is what you see, the landing page. I'm not going to deploy anything because we have some constraints in terms of time. But what I'm going to do is I'm going under development tools. There is this option that says App Service Editor. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tweak this here, just to add here like Europe, so that we know that we are in this place. Okay, so hosting start, and this is, you just need to search where that stuff is. Okay, and you don't even need to save. This is not, I'm not a big fan of that, but for this is useful. So when you see here, hey, Europe. Of course, in the real world, we're going to deploy a website, and the website will always be the same. This is just to clearly identify one or the other. Okay, so there you go. So now let's take care and let's solve the problem that I was telling you about, that, hey, we need another deployment, and I need to make sure that this is going to work. And this will make the decision to go to one or the other, depending from where the location of the user is. That's Traffic Manager. Or we can also use Front Door, that in the back uses Traffic Manager. Traffic Manager allows you to control that distribution. We have service endpoints like an Azure virtual machine, which is basically an IP address, or it can be an app service, which is exactly what we are going to use this for, or even it can be an external endpoint. So you can even use Traffic Manager to, like, oh, go to Azure or go to on-prem, depending on the distribution method that we have. What are the benefits of this? Improve the availability, because yeah, we're doing global distribution. So if there is a failure in one of the regions, this will detect and will start to send the requests to the other endpoints. Improves responsiveness, performs server maintenance without downtime, and combines on-prem and cloud-based applications, like I was saying. Okay. So what we have here, how do you do this? We configure a Traffic Manager profile. We choose the load balancing method, and the load balancing method can be like geography, priority, performance, and there's even others. I'm going to use performance. So what performance will do, it will do something like this. And this is the flow that we have here. So I'm near the browser. And in the browser, I say, hey, I want to get to azcontoso.com. So I'll go to the DNS, and then on the DNS zone, I will have a CNAME pointing to azcontosoweb.trafficmanager.net, which is going to be the name of my traffic manager. So yeah, I'm in my traffic manager. Then the traffic manager can have your endpoints. And based on a routing algorithm, it will make the decision. Okay, and it will send me a DNS response saying, hey, you should go that one over there. And then, okay, you go straight on. There is a TTL. As long as that TTL stands for time to leave, it's valid. You don't need to go to the traffic manager anymore. When that TTL expires, yeah, sure, you need to go to the traffic manager. But the thing is, this is a direct communication, okay? So it's not something, that it's not like a load balancer where the response is also passed. So the request and the response is always passed through the load balancer. No, not in here, okay? What routing methods do I have? I have one called Failover. Failover is easy. We have traffic manager and it redirects us to that one over there, priority 1. If for some reason that's not working, hey, basically you're going to be redirected to priority number 2. And again, if that doesn't work, well, let's go for priority 3 and let's end the demo here. Because if priority 3 also doesn't work, they're in big trouble, okay? There's another one, which is geography or performance, that basically, if it's performance, based on your location, Microsoft has routing tables that say, oh, from that IP address where you are, I think you will have a lower latency to West US. And there you go, you go to West US. If you're like in Brazil, well, maybe South Brazil will be better for you. Oh, if you're somewhere in Europe, yeah, maybe North Europe will be better, okay, for you. So let's do a demo now with this. And what we are going to do is we need to create a second, okay, we need to create a second web app, which is the web app in the US. So let's go for that. Let's create here and Azure DROM, azcontoso US. I will say same thing as I did before, but here I'll just put this in East US. And now that I have this in here, I will say create a new one. And I'll just say azcontoso ASP US. And I'm going to change this, okay, also to a premium. Okay, and then look, I just need to turn monitoring off and then review and create, and let me create this. Now this is creating. So let's just wait here a second for this. There you go. Oh, when this is creating, let's just create a traffic manager, okay? So then next we need a traffic manager profile. So that's already created, okay? Well, not this one here. Traffic manager profile. There you go. And let's just call this azcontoso web. And that's here the routing method. I want performance. Okay, so that's the one that I want. And I will create this. So there you go. If I go to resource groups, Azure DROM. So let me go to the one in the US so that I can change, okay, in here. Just to put like there, like USA, okay? So there you go, there you go, there you go. Whoa, there you go. And USA, okay. So if we scroll up and if we click browse, so there you go. So you see the one in the US says USA, the one in Europe says Europe. Okay, that's done. So now let's refresh this. There you go. Our traffic manager, it's here. And the next part is under our traffic manager, I will go for endpoints. And under endpoints, I will just select here that I want to put here, okay, this one that is an app service, and I'll just select that's the one. So this is what you have to do to add an endpoint. And of course, I need to add the second endpoint, which is the one in the US. I'll just call this US App Service, and now I select the one in the US. And now that those are done, if you see this here, okay, the monitoring status of this, it is checking the endpoint. This needs to show online. Disclaimer alert, if this doesn't shows like, oh, I'm having an error, etc. It's not normal, but sometimes it happens in the beginning, but we should not have problems with this. So basically, what I have right now is something like this, okay? So I have the traffic manager, and I have one web app in West Europe and another web app in East US. Awesome. But I want more. I want to test this out, and I really want to see this with like a custom domain and things like that. So I'm going to add a custom domain to the traffic manager. And then I need to add the custom domain to both of the web apps so that we can really see this in action with custom domains and everything, so that you can see how easy, okay, that is. So I just need this part here. And first thing is I need to go to azcontoso.com, and I own the domain, by the way, and I have here, and I need to delete this. This should not be here. Okay, and so I need to add a record set, which is going to be www, and the type of this is going to be a CNAME, and I need to put here the address of the traffic manager, and of course without the protocol. This here. So now, if I type, www.azcontoso.com, yeah, I go to the traffic manager. Then the traffic manager makes its decision and forwards me to one of the web apps. But now, on the web apps, I also need to configure custom domain so that the web app accepts communications under that domain. So add a custom domain. Hey, what is the domain on this? So I'll just say azcontoso.com. I add the custom domain. And yeah, seems to be okay. I refresh, and now, oh, not secure. So yeah, I can take care of this. I already have your app service certificate for this, and I can have this so that we can have HTTPS on this, so that I don't want to communicate under HTTP. Okay, so there you go. And now I just need to do this part, which is just do the binding of the certificate, and there you go, it's green. And look, I have to do exactly the same thing in my web app from the US. Okay, so it's basically validating this. I'll click add a custom domain, and now I need to do the configuration of the TLS SSL certificate, which is just import app service, select this one in here, and okay, and just basically do this. There you go. So if everything is okay, so let's just go to our traffic manager again, and this should see online, and it did. See here, oh, monitoring status online. We are good. Love it. So that means one thing. That means if I do www.azcontoso.com, I will see what? I will see the European version. I'm in Europe, by the way, so definitely that one is the one that is closer to me. See here, Europe. What about if I'm in the US? Well, yeah, let's try to do that. I have here a virtual machine that I previously created, which is this VM demo USA. Okay, that I can just run this. And look, you could do this with like a VPN, or there are a bunch of other services. I just wanted to stay in the Azure ecosystem. Okay, this virtual machine, let me just show you here on the overview blade. It's in, okay, East US. Okay, so that's the location. So I'm kind of simulating the connection, okay, onto that virtual machine, okay, from here. So if I try to do now www.az, I think I have this in memory. There you go. If I try to do this, ta-da, we see USA, because it's the same, look, same URL, but we see USA because look, this connection is coming from the United States. So we have the traffic manager routing to this. So yeah, sure, this will be much faster. Okay. So this is it. So what we have more, we also have Azure CDN. That was another service that we used, and this is going to distribute basically static content. That was our goal, but like across POP locations. POP locations stands for point of presence, and those POP locations are going to be literally going to be globally distributed all around the world, not only on Azure data centers, even because there is also the option to use the Verizon or Akamai networks. And my idea is to do something similar to this. I have here a storage account. Okay, that storage account is somewhere in Europe. And then if I have a client in like South Korea, for example, hey, it will just connect to a server that is local to him to get that. This demo takes a while, okay, to be totally honest with you. So I'm not going to create the demo from scratch, but I will show you what I have done. Even before, because to properly demo this, we need to wait for the CDN to be responsive, and that can take up to 15 minutes. Okay, so global app done. I have here, and what I have is I have a storage account, and if you go to containers, I have like pictures here, and let's see here like MCT logo, for example. And look, I can just open this in the browser. Hey, I see my logo, but I'm reconnecting through this URL, which means from wherever in the world I use this, I need to go to West Europe because this storage account is in West Europe. So that might take a while, okay, in terms of latency for some users all around the world. So what I did is I created a CDN, and this is just CDN. You create an endpoint, and my origin here is exactly that storage account that I have here. See, that's the name of the storage account. That means that now, if I want, look, I can replace all this bit here with this. So I can do something like this. So, and then you can even put custom domains on this if you want. Okay, and then using this, okay, you still get access to this. I can even show you this in private so that you don't see that I'm like faking this in some way or so. But with this is so much faster because I'm sure we're going to have a POP location now near you that is caching this. So it's pretty awesome, the stuff that that I can do with this. So the current status is something like this. So I have traffic manager, but some of the things I even have this under Azure CDN. So if my web application sends you, oh, go get the logo from here, that you're going to get that from a static content, and you're not serving that through the app service. So you're basically, freeing resources also from the app service. And second thing, you're serving them much faster than going from an Azure region. So it's a great advantage. Other services that we use on this, Azure Storage, of course, like for this kind of stuff. I also use Azure Functions. Okay, I also use Redis Cache, Cosmos DB, and SQL. But we need a database somewhere, okay? And a cognitive search and like stuff like Front Door. Okay, so this is the things that that I have. So in the end, I will have something similar to this. I have Redis Cache here, caching content from the databases. I have Azure Search and things like that. So it's a pretty cool project that we did over there, and this is just kind of some of the getting started of that project. So that is it. So thank you very much for attending. My name is Thiago, and this is how you can supercharge your app service to the global scale. Okay, and don't forget, again, thank you very much for our kind sponsors. And that's it.
Wow, Thiago, very beautiful season.
Thank you.
Where are wait a few moments if any question come in.
Sure. If you have questions, please, happy to answer.
Ricordo a tutti, potete scrivere nella sezione Q&A delle domande per Thiago, al quale avrà assolutamente il piacere di rispondere. Okay, Thiago. At moment, you haven't a questions. Thank you for your contribution at the next event.
Yeah, hope that the next event will be in person so that I can revisit Rome.
Wait. I arrived at one question.
Oh, awesome. What's the question?
Wait.
If I can use Front Door instead of Traffic Manager, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I know a little bit of Italian, so. So the thing is, yes, you should, and I think I even have here on I think my PowerPoint is still on, or I don't know if it's still on, but in this part here, that definitely, okay, today I would replace here Traffic Manager with Front Door, because I didn't explain that, because Traffic Door has a bunch of other options, and in 40 minutes, to be totally honest, we just don't have the time to go through all the options on Front Door, because Front Door also does and takes care of the SSL, TLS stuff, and yeah, a bunch of other things. And you can put a web application firewall on front of it. So definitely today, I would use Front Door instead of Traffic Manager if I want to use those features, which probably you want in such a solution like this one here.
Okay. I not arrived at other question. Thank you and bye, Thiago.
Okay, see you, and I hope that next year we can do this in person and I can be in Rome then. Okay, see you. Okay. Bye-bye, guys.
Goodbye.